All right, guys, welcome in the 16-day forecast. And of course, it's on the wrong screen. Give me a second to fix this. There we go. Anyway, looks like we have 8 days left, 57 minutes and 20 seconds until the YouTube purge and the streamer apocalypse. While that's going, we got Snowmageddon going on up in the upper northwest, which we'll get into. We'll get into all this weather. Right now we're looking at all the weather warnings. Winter storm warnings. We got a few blizzard warnings and even thunderstorm warnings. Now, like I said earlier in the year, we're going to be looking at possible tornadoes all year round from now on. They've conducted too many aerosol assaults in the sky and out of the ocean and have created more of an electrical atmosphere, which makes all these storms more intense. And we're going to get into all this stuff. We just got a couple articles before we get into the actual 16-day forecast. Now I was just kind of checking this Drone America site. And if you look at some of their technologies that they do, they offer drought relief, search and rescue, wildlife management, and even can look in the buildings to see where you're working. You know, they say that we're making this up. Or they say that they're not actually cloud seeding, but they are. You know, back when they did this was a couple years ago, we have reached another major milestone in our effort to reduce both the risk and the cost in the cloud seeding industry and help mitigate natural disasters caused by drought, hail, and extreme fog. Well, what about all the disasters that are not natural? Kind of like the typhoon that we're seeing right now headed for the Philippines. I mean, they're calling it a typhoon, but it's not a typhoon. Completely fabricated over the Atoll Islands, right where the U.S. does all their military nuclear tests and bombing ranges and all that stuff. You even got Fox News talking about, you know, making it rain. Drones could be the future in cloud seeding. So it's been going on. If they're just now, you know, coming out over the last couple of years, it's been going on for 60, 70 years. And even before that, go back to the 1890s. They were launching balloons up, you know, trying to make it rain. They were shooting explosives up in the air at clouds, trying to affect the weather. They've never stopped. They've only gotten out of hand. Now, this came out back in August, but the Samsung Galaxy and Apple iPhone radiation scandal attracts a class action lawsuit. The test reported to the newspaper conducted according to the federal guidelines found that radio frequency radiation exposure from the iPhone 7, one of the most popular smartphones ever, measured over the legal safety limit more than double what Apple reported to the federal regulators. Meanwhile, Samsung phones tested by the Tribune met safety limits at all distances except for 2 millimeters from the body. To represent a device being used while in a pocket, at which point the exposures measured well over the standard. Recent testing of the defendant's products showed that the potential exposure for an owner carrying the phone in their pants or shirt pocket was exposure limit, sometimes far exceeding it by 500%. You know, they know these phones are frying your brains, but yet, you know, they're going to roll out the 5G and you won't even be able to escape it. You may not have an iPhone or one of these radiation devices, but they're going to force the radiation on you through the airways. We also had raw sewage spill in Laguna Beach shuts down several beaches over Thanksgiving weekend. So if you weren't, affected by the fires, if you weren't affected by the snow, the rain, then you had raw sewage at your beaches. So several of the beaches in Orange County were shut down Thursday due to raw sewage spill in the Laguna Beach. All ocean and bay water areas from Pelican Point at Crystal Cove and Newport Beach. The spill was first reported to the agency on Wednesday. The South Orange County Wastewater Authority, along with the city of Laguna Beach, reported the spill after a main broke at the Ben Brown Golf Course. What a name, Ben Brown. We got raw sewage, Laguna Beach. You just can't make that up, man. So no telling what is floating around Laguna Beach. Down in Australia, you got shocking metallic sludge contaminating Sydney's dams that supply the drinking water. Metallic sludge is contaminating 2 dams that supply drinking water to one of Sydney's biggest growth areas. Official data from New Zealand South Wales Peak has revealed. Hey, thanks out there, Karen. They tell you it's from, where was that? They try to tell you it's from manufacturing and stuff like that. This is coming from the aerosols that are being deployed. We have brand new ship bunker fuel operations off the coast of Australia, off the west coast. And check this out. Inside the sludge, there are salts and minerals. There's iron, aluminum, magnesium, lithium, strontium, barium, titanium. There's going to be zinc and nickel. These are the ingredients of a chemtrail. It's getting so serious that it's ending up in the bottom of the dams. That's why I say it's time to rise, ladies and gentlemen. We have one air, and they're raining down these particulates and then trying to blame it on our cars, while all the while they're just spraying us with it. Then you got the China takeover. From farms, coal mines, airports, water supplies, China is gobbling up millions of acres of land, vital infrastructure, and companies as part of its disturbing plan to exert greater influence over Australia. I mean, they're just like taking over down here. Then you got all the billionaires and more than billionaires buying up properties down in Tasmania and New Zealand, or mainly New Zealand. Now this is pretty crazy. Anomalous concentrations of methane vents have been discovered at the northern Cascadia margin. Excuse me. Been sanding sheetrock dust all day, so I'm coughing up all kinds of crap. So off the coast of Washington, columns of bubbles rise from the seafloor as if evidence of a sleeping dragon lying below. These bubbles are methane that is squeezed out of the sediment, rises through the water. The locations where they emerge provide important clues what will happen during a major offshore earthquake. Remember the video I did back in 2016 when we had a mass methane explosion all over the whole west coast, all the way up to Cascadia, up into BC. And what's really, really crazy, man, I'm getting ready to show you something just insane that goes right along with this. Now, why that's going on, if you go over here to the College of DeBry page, I'm going to turn on my enhancer so that you can see this. This is Oregon, this is Washington, and I'm going to show you, we have hot spots popping up all over the place out in the ocean. I mean, I'm talking 50 or 60 So right off you guys may not be able to see these till the video process, but you got a pretty good one right there. You got a few hot spots over here popping off in Oregon. But here's like 3 in a row. Here's one. There's one up here. There's 1, 2, 3. I mean, there are just hundreds of these things. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to come out good on the live stream. In fact, I'll copy this link. And I have to actually turn on an enhancement to see them really good. So I'll paste that in the chat if you want to check it out later. Some of them are really light up. Like here's another big one there, one there. I'm just kind of taking my mouse to where they are. Another big one right here. One here, one here, one here, one here. I mean, we're talking hundreds of these hot spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, just, and there's a big bright one. You might be able to see that one. Maybe I have to wait till the video processes. But, I mean, it looks like you guys can see them on the stream barely. But they're just, we see them all the time out here. We see flumes of smoke just coming out from underneath the ocean. And look at even the color of the clouds out here. It doesn't look right. It looks real dirty. We take that enhancement off. So you can see right here, I mean, there was hundreds of hot spots popping off all over the place out here. And you can almost just see something is different right there. Anyway, we have an issue out here off the coast. Now, I put all these links, should be in the description. I might have forgot that link down there, but all these other links that we're going to talk about will be in the description. So we got this so-called Typhoon Kamura. It's not a typhoon. If you've been with us the last couple nights, you can see this thing does not have any kind of an eye wall. It was superheated over the atoll islands in several different areas. They were trying to get it to start spinning, but it's not spinning. They're trying to make it spin. They keep hitting it. And we'll look at this a few different ways. Let's look at it with the IR water vapor. So here we go. It almost looked like a hurricane or a typhoon for just a second, but look how wobbler it is. Let me take the tracks off. Now it's only going to be a category 2. So let me take these tracks off just so we can get a good look at this thing. This doesn't look like Hurricane Dorian or any of the typhoons. This thing is being heated in different spots. They're trying to get this damn thing to spin up. And it looks like they're failing, but yet they've created something else. This is like a monster superheated thunderstorm that's not hardly spinning, but it's still putting off the winds. It's putting off outflow all the way around it. You can see this. It's like they're heating 3 different points on it, trying to get this thing to spin up. It's really just blowing out everywhere. There's no eye wall replacement going on. It can't even create an eye wall because it's being heated from the center. And they've really been working on it. This is a weather test. Look, see, it doesn't even have an eye wall. Like, they're just heating it. I mean, it's so blatant that this is not a normal hurricane or a cyclone or typhoon, whatever you want to call it, depending on the region. That's not what it is. And I'm missing some, wow, I had some other things I was going to show you, but they're not here now. So right now they're saying it's 974 millibars. Wow, that's weird. I'm missing a whole row of information I wanted to show you guys. It's gone. Wow, that was just on there. Anyway, I could have showed you the mimic stuff. I guess we'll just go look at it real quick since they've took away the main page link. They took it away. You know, that was such here. I guess we're gonna have to go to the 42 hours because they hidden where it looks really insane, like where you could just see all the frequencies. You'll have to go back to the shows the last 2 nights to see. I mean, look at this. This is not any kind of a typhoon, but look, it's just they finally got it where they at least got it running on a straight line, no eye wall whatsoever. It's like a locomotive engine. Look at it, it just freaks out. And let me see if I can get back. That's so weird. They took away my whole row of stuff here. Let me just try to go back to see if I can get to it. I don't think they're going to let me. They're not going to put the links back on there. They took them off. Right before the show, they were all there. All right, so I'm missing the whole row, so that's weird. Okay. Let me go ahead and jump out of there. We're going to be getting into the jet streams and all that. We're going to jump into the 16-day forecast here in just a minute. Now what I want to show you is we're looking up here in the winds, in the stratosphere, way up in the top. You know, during the summer, all these polar winds were down here, and then they moved back up. So this is the polar vortex winds. And what I want to show you is the actual temperatures up here, because they're starting to create a heating event, a compression event. Let me take the winds off. See right here over, you know, Italy's over here. The United Arab Emirates weather modification companies over here. Look, they're heating up this area. They're going to start pushing this cold polar vortex air mass back over towards the United States. See, it's over here over Europe right now. In fact, we might be able to make it go a day or two forward to see. See, they're starting to heat it up, and they're pushing the cold air mass back over to the United States. And the other thing that's happening is they're heating up the whole Antarctic. There's a huge compression event over the whole Antarctic. And it even goes all the way up to the equator. Insane. So something to keep our eyes on. You know, when that starts turning green, when they're really heating it, it really pushes this off. And then we're going to see some super cold, the brutal cold will be after us. Now I want to just check these wave maps. Just go through here. It only goes a couple days because I think we got a pretty good. Yeah, look at this wind weapon. We're going to have another hurricane. At least that's what I'm calling it. That's going to be hitting the West Coast as far as I can go. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a little bit. Hey, thanks out there, Chris. Much love. Let's go ahead. Let me put it back on the winds. Get it back on now. Now I just want to show you these wind patterns. Now all the wind patterns that come over across, you know, up in this hemisphere, except for once you get up to the, like the polar, they all spin counterclockwise. But what I want to show you here, I think is coming up. I think I've seen this. Yeah, here's the weird system right here. Now we got just mega snow. We got Snowmageddon headed up for BC. Now look at this wind pattern. This is at the surface. To me, that looks more like a typhoon or a hurricane than what's down here. Well, now they got it spun up pretty good. But if you look at all the maps, it's not. It just turned into that. Let me back it. I'm going the wrong way here. Let me just rewind it a day or two. You know, that's what it was. And since they just keep heating it, and right when it gets to the coast, it's going to blast the Philippines at a category 2. So strange stuff. And while we're here, let's just check the carbon monoxide, you know, out here where we're seeing the hot spots, you know, got some spinning low pressure there. It's still high over there on the East Coast. I'm just going to fly through this because I know we need to get into the 16-day. Bad air quality all over the East, Michigan area, up through BC. And then, you know, as we see these compression events, I'm trying to close these down as we go. Something you got to come look at. Now, I always come over here to the space weather and look, and when they start talking about these polar stratospheric clouds, that's a new name. Hey, thanks out there, Colleen. So, see, they have to make up names for this. They're calling them polar stratospheric clouds. The Arctic season for the polar stratospheric clouds has begun. All these are the same kind of clouds that they can make with the ionospheric heating or the satellite-based weapons. You know, polar stratospheric clouds far outshine, have much more vivid colors than the ordinary incandescent clouds. This is because they're heating the ionosphere. They're compressing the ionosphere. These are not the all over the East, Michigan area, up through BC. And then, you know, as we see these compression events, I'm trying to close these down as we go. Something you got to come look at. Now, I always come over here to the space weather and look, and when they start talking about these polar stratospheric clouds, that's a new name. Hey, thanks out there, Colleen. So, see, they have to make up names for this. They're calling them polar stratospheric clouds. The Arctic season for the polar stratospheric clouds has begun. All these are the same kind of clouds that they can make with the ionospheric heating or the satellite-based weapons. You know, polar stratospheric clouds far outshine, have much more vivid colors than the ordinary incandescent clouds. This is because they're heating the ionosphere. They're compressing the ionosphere. These are not the, you know, like the auroras. These are man-made. They're not natural. And that's what I mean by the stratospheric stuff. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you the worldview map, and then we'll jump into the 16-day. But I just wonder if you guys can see what I see. So I want that to clear up there, because this is really, really weird. Now, I see strange things in the clouds that look like, you know, they look like faces. And if you ever seen the Alien movie with that thing that had the big long hair, I think it was the Alien movie or the Terminator movie or something. But that's what, to me, this looks like. It has the nose, the mouth, the chin. It's pointing. And it's pointing at this freaky dust storm that actually come from southern, over here in Australia. I'm going to back this up a day. And you can see the microwave clouds. Let me back this up a day. Hey, thanks out there plays in the dirt. This is just crazy, man. So check out this dust storm. It's blowing straight out. It's blowing against the storm winds. And then you can see aerosols that are also being deployed out here. You got tons of microwave frequencies. And all this dust goes, they're going different directions. Like you got this dust is blowing straight out. The dust off this island is blowing down the other way. And then you got this big swath that's being sucked up here. Right in the very point, like everything. See, this doesn't look like a hurricane. Look, there's no eye wall. It's just a big blob of super high clouds because they're heating it, I think, from below. But yeah, this is just a really weird dust event going on down here. And look at that. But like I said, then that thing turns into, you know, something weird looking like it's pointing. This thing here is pointing at the dust storm. And that's not the only weird thing. We get down here. We got bunker fuel operations, and guess what? The UFO is back. It's still the same size. It's way farther away from where we spotted it over by New Zealand. Still kind of looks like the kind of like a Saturn looking thing. I mean, it's weird looking in itself. I mean, there's just a lot of weird faces going on, like little demon faces all over down here. But there's something even more crazy down here. We have major bunker fuel operations going on, major microwave clouds. So let me bring up this enhancement. This is pretty crazy. So they haven't been out here for weeks, and here they are. They told them to turn them on. We have bunker fuel operations all over southern Australia. We have weird dust storms, weird flumes, freaky clouds. And maybe UFOs, like all down in the same area. Aerosols that are being deployed. You know, Australia's, you know, it's going through the same thing that all the other countries are. You're getting the fires. Now, I do need to show you the new bunker fuel operation out here. They're setting up for a monstrosity snow event. Now, yesterday we only had maybe 2 or 3 bunker fuel ships out here. Well, now we got tons of them. These are all the bunker fuel they're pumping out. They're all heading up to right where the snow is going to go. Let me turn on the layer. So you got bunker fuel ships down here. And then a whole fleet of them are heading up towards Alaska, towards the Aleutian Island chain. There's just hundreds of boats out here. And look, we got another one of the faces out here pointing up where the weather's going to happen. There's a bunch of other weird stuff. I can't remember all. I should have checked that out. Anyway, we'll probably get into the 16-day forecast. You got heavy aerosols being deployed over Southern California, all out ahead of this storm. I mean, there's heavy aerosols all over California, Las Vegas, Arizona, all the way up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And check out what's going on in Louisiana. We got major fires going on down here. Nobody even probably heard about them. Look at the smoke. And what blows my mind is what happens every single time. Every single time we get the aerosols being deployed from the drones, from the planes. Look at the X's all out here. We got the Freemason symbols all over this lake. Aerosols, and there was just very little fires, very little fire smoke. And after the chemtrails flew by, look, and they're still seeding, but look at the fire smoke now. They sprayed accelerants on it, so they made all these fires just light up. So Louisiana is being burned out. Big aerosols up here, Probably right now, Maine's probably getting smacked down. Nova Scotia's getting smacked down. You get a lot of frequencies up here. But I mean, these are aerosols being deployed. The winds are so strong they're drifting them out. All the storms that's happening over here, same thing. Aerosols first. Storms come in. It's just like clockwork. Look, the UK cleared out again for just a short amount of time. You got big aerosols spraying over here in the Sea of Japan. See if I can get them to come out real good. It's pretty messy over here. They got a lot of cloud cover, a lot of aerosols, a lot of man-made clouds. Really thought I had this. There we go. Here we can see them a lot better now. This guy's doing some curved action. These are all aerosols, all fabricating the weather. And you can just see something is wrong with this storm right here, man. It is, it's not a typhoon, even though they have it classified as a typhoon. You see all the synthetic man-made clouds are being like shot out of it in every direction. The aerosols are being pumped in it from every side, but they can't get it to spin up. They're going to do it right when it hits shore. Hey, thanks out there, Kim. Much love to all the people that help. Hey, Brian out there at High Impact. Good to see you out there, brother. You do good work exposing a bunch of them a-hole cops and stuff. We have a major fire zone going on out here in Africa, out here in the Saharas, man. They're trying to turn the desert green again. You know, almost every night we can really look close at this. And where, you know, there's no humidity out here. We're in the desert. We're seeing chemtrails. They call them water vapor. They're not. I've showed you the ingredients in a chemtrail. So anyway, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the 16-day forecast. I mean, I'm going to show you guys some just insane snow amounts. You know the bunker fuels. We'll keep this so you can see. We know the bunker fuel operations are out here in full force. Just look up bunker fuel, look up ship tracks. This is the most toxic emissions on the planet. They're low level. They're using it to heat the Arctic, to get to the resources, to change the weather patterns. And there's just a crap load of them out here. We see them before every major event. We're getting ready to have a major snow event. Anyway, guys, here we're going to go 6 hours at a time. We'll go through this. We're going to go through the next 2 weeks pretty fast. And then we're going to show you some total amounts of snow, total amounts of rain. We'll show you the target areas. And then all we do during the week is we factor in the weather engineering as we see it. Hey, thanks, brother, out there. Yeah, they definitely won't touch this stuff, man. Thanks for helping us out, supporting us. High Impact, man. I know, Brian, it's great to have other channels, big channels especially, help the smaller channels get noticed a little bit, because most of this information, you know, we give people weeks warning of the things that are happening when the mainstream might give you a day and then they're wrong. So anyway, here we go. 6 hours at a time. You know, the mainstream, if the mainstream is hyping up the storm, it's usually nothing to worry about. It's the ones that they don't hype up are the ones you have to worry about. If it's a named storm, that's a scheduled event. You know, these maps, all the radar data we use is made by Raytheon. And then all the programming goes to the National Weather Service. Then the National Weather Service sends out its little notes to your little local sock puppet, you know, meteorologist, goofy guy with the tight pants and the jeans and the great smile. And lists or whatever, you know, and then they lie about all the stuff. They make up names for clouds. They try to use big words to make you think they know what they're talking about, but they really don't. Anyway, here we go. 6 hours at a time. We can see the Northeast is getting ready to get hit. Hey, thanks out there, Keen Tribe. Much love out there. Look, we can see California. You know, a lot of people make fun of us when we throw out these amounts of snow, and then they happen. Sometimes they go way over what we say. So right now, I mean, these are all just pretty much normal winter storms, high winds. You know, these aren't like snowmageddon stuff here, but I'm going to show you where it will be here in a little bit. So here's Monday, December 2nd, tomorrow. You see some pretty, you know, heavy little bands. They're over the West Virginia and the Virginias. California's getting hammered. They're the target. Washington, there's going to be some big snow out there. It's here. I'm going to kind of just forward to the worst weather. Now, we're always going to be having, when these black lines are real tight, we're talking high winds. But there's some big time storms coming up that we need to get to. I mean, all this, everybody knows. Everybody can deal with a little bit of snow, a little bit of rain. Hey, thanks out there, Philip, Matthew, and Kim, and Karen. Thanks out there, guys. In fact, I almost feel like I need to show you the amounts, but here, let me just keep on going here. This is December 4th, still Southern California. All that, you know, toxic wastewater they just spilt out in the beach. It'll be washed away. Las Vegas, heavy rain. Nevada, Utah. It's just going to track like straight east, man. They have the atmospheric river locked in where they want it. And we're going to stay in this for months, you know. Same thing. You got heavy rain coming, you know, for California. This could be adding to mudslides. The dams out there are in bad shape. You know, we've seen that they all barely made it, you know, through the summer rainstorms. All the farmers have been took out. Hey, thanks out there, Chris. So here we are on December 6th, Northern California, heavy rain. The Washington, here's where it starts getting a little rough. The southern eastern states, here's where your rain is. And I'm just going to kind of get through this quicker because I'm going to get to the bad stuff. I mean, you can see right now the targets are California, Washington, Oregon. I mean, all this is pretty normal weather stuff, but I want to get to the bad ones so you guys have the heads up. I'm just going to get through this because this is all nothing to worry about. Even if the mainstream hypes it up, they're all full of crap. So here's where I want to start getting into. This will be Monday, December 9th. Next Monday, we could be looking at some tornadoes down here in the south. And this thing's just going to fire up, especially down here in Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee. Could be tornadoes down here. So you're getting exactly a week and 1 day, 2 day heads up for this storm. This is the one to watch. And we can see it's going to track east because you're going to be down here in a little bit of the warmer. We got the circulating storm. Ice storms up, power outages up in the north. We're going to see if this will turn into, you know, you got some pretty heavy snow down here. This is going to be a pretty wicked storm throughout this whole week, going into December 11th. And then up in the northeast, up in Massachusetts, Radical Ralph's up there. You guys are going to be getting inundated time and time again. And then why we need to pay attention to the upper northwest, because this is where it's going to get like biblical. This could be a windy next couple weeks. And thanks everybody out there for the support. Definitely helps us. It'll help us get the site going and all that. I'm just skipping through some of this normal stuff. And now here's another severe weather day for Oklahoma on December 13th, Friday. this is one to watch. And what you'll see is this thing will go right around the Norman, Oklahoma weather site. You could have tornadoes spawning all over the place, but it won't hit any of the Doppler radar areas. It'll go right around them. It'll catapult around them. But this is a big time. Hey, thanks out there, Gail. This could be a big time tornado outbreak on December 13th. This is still Friday, December 13th. We have super high winds associated with the storm. You got the Gulf of Mexico moisture, and then all the ship tracks that they've been deploying and the aerosols out here off the Bajas. So it's going to be kind of a potent mix. And it goes right into Saturday, December 14th. Now it's just over Louisiana, Arkansas, into Missouri. And on the very, very backside, you got the cold. This is the storm to watch for the South. The snow is going to be hitting up there, but this is the heavy tornado day that everybody needs to be alert now. I mean, you're getting the warning now. This is the storm, man. This is the one. If the mainstream media don't give you a few days warning, man, they're hiding it. They want the damage to get through there. They're not going to give people a heads up on it. I mean, this is kind of almost a springtime storm system. I mean, look, it's going all the way down through Cuba. So you're getting tropical air up in this storm. I mean, these little bitty cells, they're even going to be super powerful. We're going into December 15th. Look, the storms are going straight from south to north. That's not normal. The low pressure is not even spinning. It's just a big continuous line pulling warm air and warm moisture all the way up past Cuba. That's a wicked storm. That is one to watch. And look at the flooding rains for the upper northeast. I'm really surprised that's not showing more snow amounts. Look, this is going to be like a hot storm in the winter until you get all the way up into Quebec and stuff, man. Toronto. But it's a wind event too, so that's what I'm saying. We got to watch out for tornadoes. All right, so let me go ahead and show you some of the high amounts. In fact, let's go to the snowfall, and I'm going to go ahead and lock in on the upper north. Where is it at? I don't want that one because I can't really see. Here, we'll try this one. All right, guys, so look at these snow amounts. These are the snow amounts for 2 weeks of moisture. Down here in California in the mountains, 76 inches, 37 inches. Right here in Washington, 39 inches, 55 inches. You go up through British Columbia, 83, 63, 140. It went from 180 inches down to 140. That's still 15 foot of snow in 2 weeks. Roofs cannot take that. There's no way. What are you going to do with 140 inches of snow? You got 60 inches. You got 89 inches, 67 inches. You know, and that's in a very short time span. And now we got to think about snow melt later in the season. I mean, these are biblical amounts of snow up here. Here's a little pocket of 45 inches. I mean, that's not too bad. 4 feet of snow, that can happen up north. But when you're talking 140 inches, 100 inches in a quick amount of time, and we can see it happens later, like next week. Like I can go down, and I can give you the date here. So this is December 9th. December 9th, you're looking at, it's showing 71 inches there in the mountains of California, 36 in parts of California. You got 53 inches up here in BC. So just in from December 9th to, let's just go to, I can't even go to December 19th. So we'll just go to, well, right here. Here's December 14th. You're up to 102 inches of snow, 73, 63, 76 down there in Southern California. no building is going to be able to withstand that kind of snow. That's why this is such a major heads up here. If you have family that lives up here, man, they're in for one hell of a storm. I mean, just insane amounts. Let's see if we can go. Let's put it on the Alaska. I know the mainstream. I haven't watched them, but I'm sure they're pumping up the storm over in the Northeast, and everybody's used to them kind of storms up there. Hey, thanks out there, Junebug. Much love out there. Let's check out the Alaska amounts. And if I missed anybody, sorry out there. So let me try to zoom in on this so we can see it a little bit better. So up here, you know, right on the coast of Alaska, you're looking at, you know, 32 inches, 26, but then you start getting into the 60s, 70s, and as you go down, it gets way up in there. Yeah, I might have said it wrong. Northwest. So we could put this on the, you know, just moisture. It don't even have to be snow. We'll just put it on complete total precipitation. And let me put it on the western United States, see if that picks it up. Yeah, not really. Here, we'll just put this on the whole area so you know what your area is going to get. So right here you see the biblical amounts way up there, parts of, you know, Washington, and you're seeing tons of snow over the Colorado mountains. You're getting or California mountains. You got some pretty good bands, you know, up here in Maine off the coast, you know, in the reds. This isn't a whole lot. This is, you know, 6-7 inches, but that's over a couple of weeks. So really the major stuff isn't coming for till next week. You can see how California right now is the main target. Out there over Boston, you're a little bit of a target. And then we can just see how this thing progresses, and then wham, look at California getting just plastered. Then we go into the next week, the big time week, and that's all to these bunker fuel ships out here, all headed to that zone that is pushing all this weather in. So that's the 16-day forecast, you know, to look out. You know, this week's pretty normal, but the next week is going to be crazy. We got to watch out for the compression event, the atmospheric heating, because that can shift the cold weather around. That's one thing we haven't looked at. We haven't looked at the temperatures. And, you know, you can see up here you got minus 24, but see, they got to push that polar air out of Europe and get it back over to the United States, just like they did last year at Christmas time. They tried to send us a Christmas present of polar vortex air, and they overshot it, went to Europe, they hit it from the other side, got it parked over the United States for a good month. So yeah, so it doesn't look like we're going to get a little blast right here. This is in that same week, December 10th. So North Dakota, minus 17 degrees. South Dakota, minus 10. You're going to get, it's still going to be hot in Florida, 80, 81. But up here in Michigan or Minnesota, that's the first little wave. Look at the temperatures drop all the way down to the coast to 28. Now this isn't going to be nothing of what we're going to see here in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Right around Christmas time is when they start sending the super cold down our way, just like every year. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and call this a show. Thanks everybody out there that supports us. Thanks out there, Brian from High Impact. I need to come over on your show sometime. I don't know how to hook up, but Send me an email at agwnnews@gmail.com. Thanks out there, Chris. And all that stuff. Anyway, guys, we're going to play a song called Rise. We all need to rise. We all need to be activists. We all need to try to make sense of everything that's going on. And then we'll play our fight song. Then we'll play our victory song. I'll come join you in chat. I'll jump over on D-Live, give away the treasure chest. Anyway, guys, much love. Be safe out there. You know what's coming. You got a couple weeks warning for that severe weather that's coming. So, and then, like I said, we'll check the weather engineering as it comes, because that's more accurate than any of these radar maps or anything. Anyway, guys, much love out there. Be safe. Armor up. Armor up. And get all the people that you know to quit watching the mainstream TV. Anyway, guys, here we go. Much love. Maybe if it'll